So, all right. So we here. We want to discuss what has taken place with, I guess, Mr. Campbell and the whole farce about starting hip hop in the South.
Yeah.
Um, you know, the reason I feel it's important to address it is because you know we only have so many things anyway, you know, um, us as color people. So we need to know the truth about whatever has been done and our contributions to society because they're very important. They're very important to our history as color folks, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so we don't need to be lying. We don't need to be making stuff up, you know, and we need to pay homage to each other, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um, respect is due, you know.
Hmm.
So on that note, I guess Kurt, I'll let you go ahead and start and say what
Uh,
you, yeah.
yeah, man, I'm with that all the way, man. As far as telling the truth, I found something out watching the Sly Stone documentary. Don't you know Sly Stone came up with all those white boy records back in the day, like the Beatles songs and stuff,
I
man.
seen that. I
Man,
seen
that
that.
shit that shit blew me away because we always thought that was that white sound. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's right. That's
And
right.
it wasn't. It
That's
was
right.
not.
That's right.
So same thing here. Uh, and I want to say I love Luke. I love Luther Campbell. I don't like some of the things that's happened with him and some of the artists. I feel like for him to have that torch, that platform, and the so-called first to do this and that, I don't think he used it in the right way. You know what I mean? Like all the way he didn't. And okay, you want to say that you the first to do this and do that in the South and the hip hop, right? I will say you the first to bring twerking and all that, yeah, but that's degrading. You the first to degrade our women. Let's say that.
Yeah, that's true. Hold on
You
one
the
second.
first
We
to
getting some
degrade our women,
feedback.
man.
We getting some feedback from somewhere. Um, I don't know.
On my end.
I don't know. We can turn down something. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Say something again. Let me see.
Yes, yes. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Right. So yeah, I give him that. He was the first on stage to have women twerking and dancing and showing and even having sex on stage. So I give him that. But the
Mm.
first to bring out hip hop in the South, I don't know about that one. I'm from Atlanta.
Hmm.
Now, A.D.E, I know you from Florida. Y'all could probably tell me who was the first. I know here in Atlanta it was Mojo. Mojo was the first rapper here in Atlanta. And then our producers went down to Luke. Like
Right.
our producers was Toomp, Mike Fresh, Cooley C. All those Atlanta people. You know,
Okay. Okay.
Hey,
So Cooley
Kurt.
C was from Atlanta.
Cooley C, Mike Fresh. They was called the Odds.
Okay.
I
I didn't
forgot
know
what this.
Cooley C was from. I knew.
It's two Cooley C's now. One Cooley C that was
Oh.
signed to Luke. I
Okay.
think he was a
Okay.
rapper. I'm talking about the
Okay.
producer.
Okay. Okay. That's another cat. Okay. I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So big.
Yeah.
You can come on and chime in on this thing, then.
Yeah, I agree on what he said when Luke. Well, I was not indirectly with the group Ghetto Style, but I was like in the phase 2 part because of Sammy Bean, one of the original starters of the Ghetto Style DJs. And everybody
Okay.
Okay.
think it was Luke, but it wasn't Luke.
Oh, it wasn't him.
No, it was another dude.
Wow.
I forgot his name, but he didn't take it too seriously. So Sammy Bean, the one elevated. Him and Luke got the same birthday.
Oh,
Luke, his family don't deal with Luke now.
oh,
Sammy
okay.
Davis Bean.
Okay, so it was Sammy's group or
Sammy, all in from the same neighborhood.
okay,
But
okay.
Sammy was the you know how it was back in the days.
Yeah, yeah,
Sammy
yeah.
was that dude back then.
Mm.
Ah, okay,
So
okay.
the other dude, I forgot his name. He the one started with the DJ, but he didn't take it too serious. So Sammy went ahead and took it over. So you'll hear him talking about Slick Sam and Amber Lambs, or when they should jam at Edison and to drop the bomb. That was Sammy Bean,
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Sammy Davis Bean. He passed about 2016, 15. Luke
Okay.
ain't go to the funeral.
And that's the
Uh,
ghetto
Bobby
style
JP died.
DJs.
Yeah, Bobby JP died. Luke ain't go to the funeral.
mm,
I respect some of the things he did, but when they gave Luke that award, you got Trick, Trina, Flow Rider, and Khaled on the stage. If you was the hell of a record owner, producer, whatever, you couldn't get nobody from back in the days to come out there and represent.
Mm.
true that.
You didn't. Fresh Kid Ice just died. You didn't mention nobody from your record company. You talking about how you met Khaled and he was selling brick phones. You didn't mention nobody from your record label. He
Mm,
Wow.
don't get a white dude, David Shackler, his credit for helping him with Luke Records or starting the career of the Two Live Crew. He gonna hide that part.
oh,
He
okay.
ain't gonna mention the part the record company that was on 71st. That was Pretty Tony's on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
And talking about he the first. You
Yeah.
looking at the son of the man, the son who started the first.
Facts.
Wow.
Facts.
That's right.
And we
And
can take it back.
Mr.
Even Herman
Hines.
Kelly, Dance to the Drummer's Beat was made down here
that's right.
from
That's
Miami.
Wow.
right. Yeah. Herman Kelly.
But he won't give nobody. It's all about him. Him. He
Yeah.
don't even know when Throw the D came out. I mean, make that make sense.
I know. I saw your comment when you said
Yeah,
that. And I went back and I looked and I'm like, it's 86. And he's
yeah. Cause
boldly saying 85.
I remember back in the days, God bless the dead, Mama Lloyd had a Cadobra back then. We were riding around, Bass Rock Express, and he was always to play that Sade, Rap Will Never Die. I didn't hear Throw the D till after that.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
Rap Will Never
Facts.
Die.
Yeah, because you know, when we came, like I say, Pretty Tony, Pretty
Yeah,
Tony was out, but
Yep.
we had
that my homeboy.
KC, Sunshine Band, Betty Wright. We had all these people making music or what have you. But like I was saying that, Pretty Tony, I learned from Pretty Tony.
Yeah,
As a youngster in the record store, playing his music, and I'm learning, those grooves, those patterns, how to jam, how we got down. Um, but what I would say is I don't think Tony considered himself hip hop or rap or anything like that.
yeah. He was more
So
into that producing thing too.
yeah.
He got a lot of
So
plaques.
no, he's top notch.
Yeah,
That's
You know
right.
what I'm
I,
saying?
I,
A
I
Top
think
notch.
legend.
I think he came up. I think he was like following Egyptian Lover.
Yeah, well, he
Yeah.
was he was out before Egyptian Lover, wasn't he?
No, he was here. I think he came up under because they you listen to their music. They kind of similar each other.
Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah, I
the
can't remember
thing,
who came first.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. When Luke said he started hip hop,
Yeah,
so for me, I have to go with hip hop,
yeah.
and these guys was doing different kind of music. No disrespect to what they were doing, because, like I said, I learned from Pretty Tony. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when we're talking hip hop,
Hey,
that's
A.D.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna Luke called himself Captain D.
Yeah.
Pretty Tony had. You remember Tony had that black and white Porsche, the convertible Porsche?
Yeah, yeah,
Remember they used to have little signs in the front of the cars back in the days.
yeah.
Pretty Tony had the sign say Captain D on the front of the car. Uncle
I
Uncle
didn't know
Luke
Al,
got
that.
that from him.
Uncle Al. Now Uncle Al dead. Now he Uncle Luke. I mean,
Wow.
come on, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But when we talk about, like I said, when we talk about hip hop, the first hip hop was MC Chief and Sexy Lady.
Hey, and when I first heard that, I thought they were from New York because they were giving you like that b-boy sound back with that and all that there.
Yes,
And the Invisible, the Donkey Kong.
yes,
Cause
yes.
they would sound like it the one made Cheap Thrill. I thought they made that song.
Yeah,
Because it sounded northern. It didn't sound like how we sounded.
we just did some shows in Brazil together, me and Planet Patrol. But for him to say he started hip hop, like I said, the first hip hop record, which was out of the South, which was Beefbox, which was done by us at Foresight, you know?
Sexy Lady and I Am the Chief.
Yes, sir. You
Slick
know,
Vic love that song too.
yeah. And that was a song that they put me down for special effects, but I actually produced that record, you know. But I was a young kid at the time, so you know, I didn't even know what producing was. But it's just the fact that he claims that nobody gives respect. He says, you know, nobody respects him, nobody pays him his due respect, homage, what have you. But you're doing the same thing by not respecting the ones that came
Yeah.
before you. You
That's right.
understand? Because we were going to sign him to our label, you know, because he didn't have a clue on what to do at the time. So we sat down with him at his mom's house in Alapata and, you know, talked to him about doing a record deal, you know, distributing the record for him. And, you know, we had a discussion, but uh, afterwards, I think what happened, he went and he found some street money and, you know, he went and did it himself. And kudos to him for that. You know, I big up him on doing his thing, but don't try and, you know, shun others,
Yeah. Yeah.
that ain't cool,
Yeah.
man. You know, especially
Yeah.
like I said, we came out in 84. You didn't come out to way
Right.
86.
Yep.
You know, I remember when BET put him up there and said, oh, you know, the founder, creator of hip hop and this and that. That's all falsehoods and lies, you
Yep.
know, and
Yeah.
that's an injustice to us for
Yeah.
our music and for, what we did in the culture, you know.
That's right.
So I just think like people need to know, you know, I'm not here to judge his character, saying he's a bad dude, this and that, you know, because you know when I first met him, he was he was like, hey, you know, he loved my music, he was a fan of the music, and it was cool meeting him. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
meet people that love your music, cool. But
Right.
all these years later to turn around and try and say you are the one that started what was started before you even got here, it's just
Yep.
very disrespectful, man. You know?
Yep. I agree.
Even Connie Funky Little Beat was out before Throw the D.
Yeah. Is that because, you know, that goes back to because when I did that first project, Bass Rock Express, with Amos.
Yeah.
And Amos did different kind of music back then. When we first met Amos, convinced my old boy, telling him, saying he could do what our engineer at the time, who did Beefbox with us, which was Frank Cornelius, he convinced him. He said, "Hey man, I seen what y'all do," because he was over the studio. He was managing Henry Stone Studios at that
Yeah.
time, and he was like, I seen what y'all had this engineer in here doing. He said, I can do the same thing. He said, no problem, and I'll charge you cheaper. because he was gonna sneak us in after hours. You understand? So, he was cutting deals with my old boy. So my old boy, like, okay. And at the same time, my old boy thinking to himself, he said, well, really, my son is the one that produced this record. I couldn't play nothing, but long as I had somebody who could play and program and follow my lead, we were good.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And we went in, we did Bass Rock Express, and we did that one record with Amos. And then I guess, Henry Stone had him in there like a pill mill, just turn stuff out, make all these records. So they pretty much copied right behind what we did, and the vibe that I came in there with, because I was a dude, I was connected to the streets. You understand what I'm saying? And Amos he was on some different kind of stuff. He was doing, because I remember my dad asked him to first let him hear some of his stuff because he wanted to work with us. And all he had at that time was like some, I don't know, that was like some punk rock type stuff or dance type music or something, but he was into some other kind of stuff, But I came with a whole nother vibe, bass, rock, express, we funk the best. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I came with a whole nother vibe, a whole nother style, and I grew up in a record store. So I had all the funk, all the jams. I'm listening to them 24/7. It's just inundated in me. So that's what started that whole vibe and gave my man, he's a great engineer, producer, but he came in, you understand, on doing that first record with me, which was Bass Rock Express. And when Bass Rock Express came out, and it made such an impact that, everybody was like, yo, what's up with this? You know what I'm saying? So everybody kind of got on that vibe, and like I said, I would attribute to Pretty Tony for showing me the vibe and the way. You dig what I'm saying? But this is how things go,
Right.
This is the lineage of things,
That's right.
So, and if you want to say Miami, well, I'm from Miami, born and raised. You understand what I'm saying? I went to, school, everything in Miami, Liberty City, Drew, the West. You dig what I'm saying?
You ain't go to Miami Union Academy?
I know Miami Union. How you know about Miami Union? Well, they was trying to reform me, because I was getting in trouble and stuff and wasn't doing the right thing. So my mom tried to put me in private school for a couple of years to reform me. I loved it. It was much easier and freer, and I got away with a lot more than public school. So I did have fun there, but I ain't really do no better. But I had, and then I went to the West. But my thing is to say, if you talking about Miami hip hop, I am Miami. Nigga, don't even try that. You understand? I'm more Miami than you. You understand? Because I was born there. You did?
Right.
Where were you born at? You dig what I'm saying? I think, where was he born? Was he born in the States or in Jamaica?
I don't know, but he claimed Bahamian.
Okay, Bahamian.
He claimed Bahamian, but I don't know where he was born, but he said he's Bahamian.
I think he was born in the Bahamas. You dig what I'm saying? No disrespect to the Bahamas, but we're just talking about what we're talking about right now. You dig what I'm saying? I'm a true vet from Miami. You dig what I'm saying? And a lot of these cats, when they talk about Miami, they ain't even from Miami. You dig what I'm saying?
Saying about what they heard.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm from Miami. I went up to Fort Lauderdale because that's when my old boy had the record stores where after he
Right.
moved from Miami and moved to Fort Lauderdale, and we did our thing up there. But I represent Broward and Dade. You dig what I'm saying? I am that dude. You dig? You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know, I represent the South, period.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
so don't come with trying to label it this way, Miami. You don't qualify over me over Miami, period. You know what I'm
There you go.
saying?
Back in the day, you couldn't ride around without hearing the car. Oliver
That's
Dollar,
right.
call
That's
Mr.
right.
Haney.
That's right.
I
In
think
the
I
streets
think
of
of something
Atlanta
else.
too.
Or that
In the streets of Atlanta
woo
too.
woo
You
on
you
the
you had all the
bus.
bugs. We had the fixed up Volkswagen bugs out there with the boom in them, and
Hey,
that's all you heard. Boom, boom, boom. That's
I even
all you
heard that.
heard.
Hey, and I even heard that on BMF on the BMF series.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
we did that on there. That's what's up. I
Yeah.
mean, that was, even with Bass Mechanic, and Bass Rock Express, the reason I had that instrumentation in there, those horns and different things like that, because it reminded me of school, like the high school bands,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and you know how we used to get down with the band,
Wow.
you know. So that was something I was, looking to emulate, you know. And then I noticed even like when later on when Quick Daddy them came with Take It to the House and all, they was using them horns and
Yeah.
all of that stuff, you know. So we set precedents for a
Hey,
lot of
I,
culture, a
hey,
lot of history.
I,
Mhm.
I think rocking all over got more bass than Bass Mechanic.
Okay,
Hey,
okay,
that's my jam now. I love that
okay,
one. Boy, I love that
okay.
one.
Hey,
Ronaldo
what
is
what
God.
what what gave you the idea though, A.D.E, to do that Darth Vader voice shit? What
Because
gave you that idea?
you got to understand, when me even making a record was never something on my mind. That was never something I had ambitions to be. I'm a boy out of Liberty City and going up to Broward County and hanging out in the record store and living this life. You bringing a dude out of the city and putting him into, it's like, wow. So I wasn't really, I was just happy to be in the vicinity.
Yeah.
And um and then, like I said, by the mishaps of going in and winding up in the studio and producing a record, not even knowing, that I was doing it at the time. I just happened to. My dad took me to the studio when Frank and Sexy Lady them was already in the studio making the record, and she didn't like the track. So she was like, she talked to my old boy and she's like, Billy, I want to, because she asked me first. She said, what do you think about it? Now I'm only like 12 at the time. And I'm like, it sounds cool, but if it was me, I'd do it totally different. The reason she respected my opinion and asked me, because I worked in that record store and I'm getting some feedback from somewhere. Who is it? Y'all hear the feedback?
Now I don't hear it.
Okay. Um. So can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what's going on here. But yeah, she respected, you know, my opinion, because how we do today. We will ask, kids or what have you, what they think about something, because they're the youth. So that was the same thing that she was doing. And then when she did that, even though I was young, but I was into the music, you know. And so anyway, fast forward, my dad told Frank, okay, can you put that track to the side and let's placate the kid. And I'd never been in the studio before, nothing. And I still believe till this day, Frank tried to make me look crazy because he gave me a blank slate, you know what I'm saying? And he just hit the drum machine, boop, 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 boop. Okay, now what you want to do? And I thought, I was like, okay, but you know, a kid, I don't care nothing about that. And so I just beat out the pattern and we went through everything, the sounds. I had melodies in my head, ding, 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 ding. You know, and we just putting this stuff down. When we got through with that track, we never heard that other song, that complete song that they had already did. And we did that song, Beef Box, and put it out. It was smash hit. We had every pressing plant from Miami to Broward County locked down, you know, and everybody took notice to what was happening. And that's how Foresight started, you know. And it's so ironic because, like I was telling DJ Kurt, the crazy part that I didn't even realize that till like 2015, what I had really done. And then I was like, you know, if I think about it, if we had to put out that other record that Frank initially did before I got to the studio, I doubt there would have been a Foresight.
Mm.
That's how serious that was, you know? And it just never hit me until I to social media and all that. And I seen how people were responding to the old school stuff and was like, yo, this and that, and yada, yada, yada. And you did this. And I was like, wow, you know, I never even paid attention to it because it was never something I was, you know, ambitious on doing, was making a record. I just was the artist and stuff, you know, I was behind them. You know what I'm saying? I was
Yeah.
even started out as a DJ to help like Universal Crush Crew and stuff like that. And I was the kind of dude, you know, I would support. You know, I didn't need to have the front, you know, front light or what have you. That wasn't me, you know. Um, and back to your question, Kurt, you asked me about the vocoder thing. Well,
Mm-hmm.
because when my dad did step to me once he realized that, because he made that first record, we made Beef Box, and it was a hit. But I went back to Miami, went back to the hood. I'm chilling, and they up there doing their thing, and they making other records and doing stuff, but the records were flopping. So when I came back, because I would come summers and holidays, and I came back, that's when old boy stepped to me and said, "You the one that really made that first record. Why don't you make a record?" And that's how then I was like, okay. It went in one ear and out the other, but we came up with the title. I wanted bass. So that, and I'm, you know, right there making a mixtape while he talking to me, and I'm looking at the bass on the knob, and that's how I was like bass rock, and he put Express on it because he was trying to duplicate a Trans Europe Express record, and so that's how we came up with Bass Rock Express, nothing else. And you know, went to the studio, um, because that morning my dad woke me up and was like, you know, we got studio tonight. And I'm like, come on, man. This is like weeks later, and this man ain't remind me of nothing, said nothing. I'm like, dude, are you serious? But I couldn't say that to him. So I'm like, damn, thinking in my mind. And I remember I'm tying up my shoes, and the TV was on. And it was on 33 and black and white little TV on channel 33. And Green Acres came on. Dun, 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 dun. And I was like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm panicking. You dig what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. Because I don't want to let my old boy down. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm panicking. I'm like, damn. I'm like, oh, that's because that's all I needed was a catalyst. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because my old boy had already told me, just do the same thing you did before, you know, because basically you just went in there and freestyle, you know? So I'm like, so once I heard that, I said, well, that's all I need. I got that, went to the studio, and we did that. So I did the music part, right? We did the track. You know, Amos didn't even have a clue what we was doing when we got there. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know because we're following a procedure right now because we just did this with Frank. You dig what I'm saying? So there's no need to talk to him about what we're doing. All he needs to do is to be able to play whatever I need him to play and follow my lead. period. You know, so that's what we did. And then once we got through with the track jamming so hard, it's like, okay, well, we need to, and I had wrote lyrics, and it's like, well, we need to put these lyrics down. And I'm like, trying to figure out something with my voice because I wasn't a rapper. You know what I'm saying? This was never something I was thinking about. And Amos helped me to come up with that sound. You dig what I'm saying? Because we was trying to figure out something for my voice. And I was like, I would like Darth Vader. I liked the Darth Vader voice at the time. You know what I'm saying? From Star Wars.
Yeah.
So that's when we went to the machines and, he helped me find my voice, and that's how that happened.
Yeah. And all the DJs jammed it. Everybody jammed it.
Yeah, it was that thing was so, like I said, I remember going to the Panthers and in Fort Lauderdale on the beach, and they played the record, and I didn't even know the record had got hot. I didn't even know they put the record on, and it was dun 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 dun. Man, the whole club rushed the dance floor.
Yeah.
And by the time that thing
Well,
hit,
when that bass hit, boy.
oh man,
Hey,
it was crazy.
we used to ride around back in the days of school lunch breaks, and we always used to rewind it and catch it for that breakdown. That thing come through.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Hey, we ride from Cash City to Norland, the Central, to the West, to Jackson lunch break. We rewinding, catching that drop.
Oh man, yeah, it used to terrorize so hard, like Bass Rock Express. Oh man, it was like, and every like when they used to do the Battle of the Bands, when people from DJs, when DJs battle, from the Battle of the Bands, FAMU, and all of them, man, they would they would win. People would win their competitions when they would play
that song.
play them songs, man. Bass Rock Express and Bass Mechanic would shut it down.
Let me ask y'all this now. Who was the first to use the 808 in hip hop, period?
I don't know. I know Tila Rock.
Yeah.
Because I remember. I don't know.
Somebody said tougher than leather. Together forever. Run DMC.
Nah, I think it was.
No. They was after. Let me tell you something about Run DMC. This is where when Run DMC came along, Run DMC actually, because Bass Mechanic was out. Okay? And Bass Mechanic was hot. Run DMC, because my old boy brought Run DMC down to Florida for their first concert. And he had to buy them turntables. Okay? So they was going around and they was hearing like Bass Mechanic, because Bass Mechanic was everywhere. You dig what I'm saying? And it was hot, so the different states they was going to, stuff like that. And they did on that rec, they did, I think it was it It's Tricky.
Yeah, Up Tempo on the other side.
Oh yeah, the remix. Up Tempo.
Up Tempo.
Yeah.
And if you, let me tell you something. See, this is what, when I saw it, because I knew what was happening. You dig what I'm saying? They did Up Tempo, and Up Tempo told what was going on because they wasn't on Up Tempos in New York. Nope. You dig what I'm saying? That wasn't their thing.
They didn't even rap on it.
They didn't even rap on it because it wasn't their vibe. You dig what I'm saying? That was, and they did that record, and in that record, they had like a dog, and you know what I'm saying? Had like this reflection of Bass Mechanic. You understand what I'm saying? And I heard all of that.
Even original concept.
Yeah, so I'm like, these niggas biting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's all good. You understand what I'm saying? But then they started. That's when they was at the same time they was doing that the bass records and Dumb Girls and all that. Now I guess
Yeah.
Ruben, you know what I'm saying? He was able because he figured out how to get that right tone out that thing. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? He got that sweet tone, boy. He shook it better than me. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I really respected that, but they got that. They got that from me, but he
Mhm.
took it and did something else with it. And why I say they got it from me? Because of up tempo. And up tempo it wasn't even a thing. That's why they called it
Right.
up tempo. You
Yep.
understand what I'm saying? That was a
Yep.
South thing, and
Yep.
the only thing was popping at that time was like hot like that everywhere was bass mechanic. And on top of that, they even had like the and some of the same stuff that was in bass mechanic, it was thrown off in up tempo.
Uh,
Facts.
wow. What? Oh, whoa. You mean Luke didn't do that?
Didn't do
Luke, right?
he didn't do what?
Luke was the first person with the bass music, wasn't he?
Luke probably couldn't even program a beat.
Oh, my bad. Oh, Luke lying. That's what that is. Luke lying.
Yeah.
He
He's
said it one
straight.
and he said one interview with his Jamaican and his Bahamian roots. That's how he came up with the bass.
I know these cats be telling all kind of lies,
Man.
man, on how they did it. You know what I'm saying? There was
And you
no
know what's
no
such a shame? The
Mhm.
newcomers, our kids now, grandkids believe in that crap. That's why we got to do this, man.
And
Yeah.
Keep doing this.
that's the reason why nobody won't help do nothing with him, because he gonna try to make it all about him.
Oh
That's
yeah.
why
Yeah.
you can't get a collective people to come and bring this to the light, bring that to the light, because he gonna put himself to the forefront like he did it all.
And I say this, if he respected the game more, right? Um, by 1 second here. Yeah, if he respected the game more and paid homage like that,
Yeah.
people like you guys, it's a lot of guys like you all, guys and gals,
We will
that
respect him
know
more.
that will respect him more and get behind him more.
Yeah,
That's right.
You dig what
That's
I'm
right.
saying? We will
That's right.
support you at that point. But if you lying, bro, and it's like you trying to make us look stupid. You understand what I'm saying? You talking to our face and you saying this and that happened. Like we stupid. Like we don't
I I,
know what happened.
I think he get I think he gets y'all not around no more.
Yeah.
Oh, this nigga, no,
That's what it
come
be.
on, man. Come on,
That's
man. This nigga,
now he telling the
no,
truth though.
this
Yeah,
nigga,
because he
no.
said
That's the
that
truth.
one interview he was talking about the DJs and talking about how he used to let Triple M come set up in Average Square Park with P Man Sam. Now I
Yeah,
know
that's
that
my
wasn't true,
boy.
because
Yeah,
them boys
yeah.
from the streets.
Triple M
Exactly.
bass.
And
Yeah,
Sam would have came and took the spot. What you talking
yeah,
about? You
yeah. So
understand what I'm saying?
and Sam no longer here no more, so you gonna talk like
Exactly.
that. But you ain't letting
Me
nobody
and
get
Sam was
nowhere.
like this. We hung. We
Yeah,
hung like we hung. You dig what I'm saying? We were homeboys like that.
yeah,
You dig? And Sam was the extortionist. So
yeah.
come on,
They
man.
call the
Seriously?
Suge Knight of the South.
Exactly.
Wow.
You think he was the bodyguard?
Exactly.
Damn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for you to say that, come on, man, Sam would have took you, your equipment, and
Yeah,
everything
I
else.
used to let them come and set up, and they just have to ask me. Come on, man, stop it.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. You gotta respect it because there's too many people like you guys that know the history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So if you wanna do something, we all down for that. You know what I'm saying? We all down for that, but let's do it correctly. Because
Yeah.
otherwise you slapping us in the face.
yeah,
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
we Southern boys. We ain't even with that. You know what I'm saying?
And,
We believe we've been
you
in
done went, you done been all on TV. You done did all these beautiful accomplishments. You ain't got to take nothing from nobody,
ain't
man.
gotta take nothing, bro. Facts.
Give these people they just do, man.
Yeah,
Especially Mr. Hines. Good God, pretty
yeah.
Tony, man. You got to give it to
Facts.
them, man.
Facts.
But
Facts.
You
what
can't
really
do it
got
like
me,
that, man.
what really got me when I seen him start acting funny one day, he was doing an interview and they asked him about Jam Pony. Said, where they from? They from Miami, right? For a lot of us, Miami. Luke talking about, nah, they from Tampa.
Oh. Oh,
So
okay.
Slick Vic got on Facebook and went to, come on, Luke, now you know better than that. One of the other dudes from the new generation Jam Pony went to playing at goddamn Jam Pony from Fort Lauderdale. Like you know we from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. Uh, if it's a Freudian slip or what. But I know he didn't start hip hop in the
I
South.
think he don't want nobody forgetting about it. Ain't nobody gonna forget about you, Luke. Just be real with everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I
Ain't
just
nobody trying to forget about you, bro.
yeah,
Because those records that were done, you know, and he put the team together, even
yeah,
though I give the props to my boy, Mr. Mix.
Mr. Mix.
oh
You know
yes,
what I'm
oh
saying?
Hobbs. That's right.
Hobbs, man,
That's
let me tell
right.
you something.
That's
Hobbs
right.
went in. You know what I'm
And make it
saying?
so bad, he even and Mr. Mix even gave props where he started studying the Miami bass, the bass mechanic, and the pretty Tonys.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said that in an interview.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
He said he
okay.
started say when Luke brought them down here, said they was in the club and listened to all that hard bass and all that, the bass rock express and the pretty Tonys, and they started getting into the cadence that's when they came out with the
Oh,
Soda D cadence. Yeah,
okay, okay, okay.
Uh-huh.
But see, that's
Yep.
again, that's history. You know what I'm
Yep.
yeah,
saying? That's
Yep.
history,
Yep.
because
Big up the Mr. Mix.
yeah, big up to Mr. Mix, you know what I'm saying? And me and Mr. Mix was just in Brazil. He did a show with me over there as well.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Mix put that stuff together,
yeah,
man, which was,
Yeah, he did.
excellent. And Mix was so tight with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I loved his production. And
Yes.
like I said, Luke, he was the catalyst that bring that forth, which was fantastic.
yeah,
But again, you know, you don't have to steal nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to steal nothing, bro. You got enough history of what you did. You got enough, impact that you made. Even
yeah,
though be quite honest with you, not to, I would say, far as the the stuff that he did, that kind of music, the lewd or lascivious type music with that kind of stuff, it didn't help us.
yeah,
The tracks were dope, you
yeah,
know, um, getting as nasty as they want to be wasn't the best thing for our people. So I didn't never vibe with that part of the game.
yeah. A lot of people he was on tour with say they ain't much want him on tour with that because they wasn't with that.
Yeah, I didn't vibe with that because that was real. I knew then, as a kid, I knew, being younger, I knew, man, that wasn't good because we had respect for our parents and different things like that, and certain things we wouldn't be saying and doing in front of
Yeah,
them. So you making this kind of music and you putting it out in the public, I just, and I did my thing, okay, but I didn't go out and post it, and that was like posting your dirt. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
yeah,
And teaching the young kids, who was even
How to
younger
do the
than
same
us,
thing. Yep.
that this was okay and this was the
Yep.
way to go. So I never rock with that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so I it's a double thought process when I think about
Yeah.
what he did and what he did.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Because what Mix did with those great beats and stuff was
Yeah.
great for hip hop. You
And
know,
architect behind all of it, and it's
yeah, that production was great,
bad
and
boy.
that those lyrics and stuff that was given to us and the
And,
kids and
and
stuff like that,
that mega mix 3.
that was
Yeah.
damaging to our
Yeah.
culture. You know what I'm saying?
All the mega mixes.
That made all of the girls and everything they was proud to strip now and take their clothes off,
Yeah.
get naked.
Yeah.
Um, it just promoted a whole, evolution that we didn't need as black folks. We already
Right.
had so many strikes against us. You know what I'm saying?
And that
So
what really got them the attention that they got.
Yeah.
that's what got them the attention. Shock and awe. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Female degradation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Female degradation,
Then you had other cities try to start taking suit behind that, but that what really got them out there.
Yeah.
That right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why I say I don't really, it's a double thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Because on one hand, like I said, I respect the production and everything that
Yeah.
we did, those records, man. Oh man, it was
It's
jamming.
it's almost like it was a part of the agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because
Make you
that
think
really
now,
hurt us bad, bro.
was the
That hurt us
FBI
bad.
behind it? You know what I'm saying? Now you heard about hip hop. Now I done heard about the FBI created hip hop. Did y'all hear about that?
I didn't hear that.
No.
Did you hear
Well,
about African Bambaataa
about him doing his thing,
with the kids, with the little boys?
yeah, I
Yeah.
heard that. I
Okay,
heard that. Yeah.
that was all disappointing to me, man. I mean,
Yeah,
very
that's messed
disappointing.
up, man. That's messed up because again, he was such a icon in this thing, doing what he did, and that stuff there, man. What he was
And
doing,
I
bro.
talked to a few of my friends from New York and talked about that, and they all knew. Oh, that's old news. We all knew about that. I'm like, huh? For
Yeah,
real?
that ain't cool, man.
It
That
ain't
ain't
cool at
cool.
all, man.
Nope.
And not even just for music. Anybody out there that's I would tell this to guys and kids coming up. Listen, bro. Just perversion, sleeping with kids, and sex. All this. Even the whole thing with sex, same sex, and all that stuff, bro. Listen, it's all in your head. People
Yep.
want to say they born like this. Listen,
No.
you not
Yeah.
born
No.
no kind of way, dude.
Nope.
Okay, when I came out, I was not born thinking I want to get with this girl. You understand?
Right.
Or I want to sleep with a girl. That was never my thought process when I was born. You dig? That was a learned behavior. That
Yep.
was
Right.
something I learned that to be with a girl, or I wanted to get with a girl, or I thought they were cute. This was all learned behavior. You're not born gay. You get out of here with that.
Yep.
Nobody's born no kind of way. Because if I
Yeah.
took you and put you in a jungle with nobody around but some monkeys, you'd have been screwing the monkeys. And you'd have thought she was fine and sexy with the hair booty. You understand what I'm saying? So don't talk about how you was born. Those are
Right.
learned behaviors. And far as the kids and stuff, mainly you guys, because it's up to y'all to change the future and to do better. That
Right.
all that stuff is perversion. The
Yeah.
reason why we are not to be, indulging in that because it doesn't. Everybody wants to elevate,
Yeah.
right? And when you put man and man together, or woman and woman together, you cannot elevate because it produces nothing.
Nothing at
That's
all.
right.
Understand what I'm saying? So if we're doing things intelligently and we want to be smarter and we kids are learning more, then we have to practice things, that elevate us,
That's right.
and another thing that, with the whole homosexuality thing, it goes against humanity. The reason I say that, because we supposed to be caring about the future. We supposed to be caring about the youth and who's coming behind us. But if we if everybody was gay, there's nobody coming behind us.
That's
You
right.
understand what I'm saying?
At
There
all.
is no
Right.
future. So that's a whole selfish act, because we have to be concerned about the future, and that's already a problem in the Black community. So, you know, this whole gay thing is really terrorism on humanity, because it's
Yeah.
not about the future. It's only about me, what I want to indulge in is selfishness, and it's not even productive. It's not even doing anything that's going to benefit anybody. It's just your lust and how you feel.
Yeah.
And I dig it, because, you know, I like girls. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, being in these other countries, I really like girls.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But
Hell yeah.
but you know, let's just, you know, as far as the kids and stuff, let
But
you guys know it's not okay, bro. You know what I'm saying?
you
It's
know,
not okay to
hey,
for the
AD, I
girl.
think, but man, you
Mhm.
hitting it on the nose, and I feel like, and I always believe this, that women follows the man. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But
Facts.
they ain't gonna follow no stupid mother. They ain't gonna follow no non-leader. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So even with the gay women and all, man, I've talked to a few of them. If they had that right man, they wouldn't be gay, bro.
True
And
that.
that's just society and the agenda and the powers to be, the way they got shit going. Some of these kids are just falling right in the trap, man. And you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
shame. It's just a shame.
because it is made to seem like it's so natural.
Yeah, like it's
It's
cool.
like
Yeah,
there's no lines no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
It's
It's
okay to be
okay.
gay.
It's okay if you want to sleep with him,
Live your
bro,
life.
man.
Live your life. Be
Yeah,
you.
live your
we got
life.
we got to grab them, man. We got to
Yeah,
do whatever it takes to get them get them
facts.
back. I
And
mean,
it's
think
going.
about you. Think about when you grew up. We
Mhm.
had our neighbors. We had everybody was our parents in the hood. We
That's
ain't
right.
got that no more. It's a
No,
disconnect.
that's right. That's
I
right.
think when Bush got in and signed that New World Order thing, and then what the first thing came out? You couldn't whoop your kids. You can't whoop your kids, and that changed everything.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
tell
just
you
me. That's just my opinion.
what changed everything was when it was during Bush term, and it was with the 9/11 bullshit. You
Mm,
understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because that was
yeah.
all some bullshit,
Oh
dude.
yeah,
You
well,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
False
well.
flags, you
Oh
know?
yeah,
And when they did that so they could take control over the people. When they signed in the Patriot Act, you dig what I'm saying? That
yeah,
Patriot Act had so much stuff in it that took all the rights away from the
yep.
citizens. You know what I'm saying? So that's when everything changed with that, and then they could just start doing whatever they wanted to do. You know. But I just want to, like I said, talk to the youth, to the kids, you know, and tell them, you know, it's, you know, doing all the negative stuff. You know, we want to kill each other, want to be the bad man, you know, the girls with the sex, and they just, you know, that stuff, man, is not going to benefit you throughout life.
Yeah,
In
ain't no
10, 15
ain't
years,
no more leaders out there to help them.
There
yeah,
you
in 10,
go.
15 years, you're gonna
There
be
you go.
you ain't gonna be worth 2 cents. You know what I'm
And
saying?
and the record companies ain't making it no better.
No, they ain't doing nothing for us.
Mm,
But we just have to talk about it so at least the kids can hear something different, and they don't
yeah,
have to hear, you know, this the music and stuff like what Luke
Sexy
did,
red.
and think it was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke, he
oh
produced the
Lord.
Sexy Reds.
Yeah.
You understand
Yeah,
what I'm saying? All
yeah.
all that kind of stuff, that's where them girls come from. with that.
So that's what we're gonna crown him for. That's what Luke get the crown for. The king of the goddamn twerk, the degrading women and making our black sisters and daughters and cousins like they are now. That's what he get. We
Yeah,
gonna give him
that's
that award.
yeah, I
You
agree.
don't get the goddamn the southern hip hop shit. No, you don't get none of that. You
You
gonna
get
get this goddamn
you get
twerk
the first
award. That's what you gonna get.
you get the first generation of curse award.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the degrading of our women and the lowering our standard of
Yeah.
our men. You know what I'm saying? Of initiating and degrading our women. You know what I'm saying? And I was no saint, like I said. You know what I'm saying? I
But you
back
ain't push it.
then
But you ain't push it to the people though.
I didn't push it to the people. You know
And
what I'm
he got the
saying?
power. And he got the power right now to stand up to try to change all that.
Yeah,
Because he got a
facts.
voice.
Yeah, because it's different. You know, I say it's the analogy that I use. It's like a
Nah, he
school
better
teacher,
argue.
right? And a
Yeah.
school teacher, if that school teacher in school, he's teaching his students and he's teaching them good, teaching them well. But when he go home, he smoke a little crack, he do a little heroin,
Yeah.
he doing all this stuff, right? But when he come to
Yeah.
school, he ready, he
You
teaching.
never know.
Now he got a problem, right? He does
But
have
they
a
don't know.
problem, and it will
But they don't
eventually
know.
catch up with him and cause him problems. But
Right.
uh when he goes to that school and he starts teaching them kids that it's okay to do a little crack and a little heroin and this and that, that's where the
Yeah.
problem comes in.
Yeah, that's when the
You
problem
dig
come
what
in.
I'm
That's right.
saying? Because if you go on the top of a building and you take feathers and shake them out, and they're going everywhere, they're blowing everywhere. You could never get every feather and pick it if you tried to fix that situation. You would
Yeah.
never pick up every feather. So you got to
Right.
be careful about what you put out into the world.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I was always very cognitive of is what I put out because you got to be accountable for that
And
because you're going to be held accountable for that.
AD, you gotta understand this too. It's just like us three on here. We believe in righteousness, God, and love,
Facts.
and
Facts.
hey, you got some people that believe in just the opposite, brother. But you know what? You know what they call the devil? A liar. So they'll tell you, yeah, we believe in Jesus Christ and God, but then they show you what they really believe in, bro.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
it's in this world right now, man, it's hard to. I say just your circle. That's all you got. That's all you got right there, bro. Your
Yeah.
circle. You got that circle. Maybe I can put another circle together, but getting out here trying to help everybody, man, you might hurt yourself, man.
Yeah.
Up to my in
Yeah.
today's world.
Yeah, it's in today's world, because listen, they're gonna look at this and they're gonna say, what they want to say, and that we, where I may be coming from, or this and that, and I'm,
Right.
biased and homophobic. I am homophobic.
Oh, they hate.
Let me tell you something. When people say homophobic, I am homophobic because I'm scared. I'm scared of that spreading to more
Yeah.
boys, more little boys.
Yep.
You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm very
Yeah.
scared of that
Yeah.
spreading to more little girls. I'm
Yes.
very scared. Homophobic, I'm scared of
Yes.
homosexuality. I am. So you right. I am homophobic.
And they
Yep.
just wide open with it now.
Yeah, because I don't want to, I
I'm
got a
talking about.
son and he around here want to be a girl and he want to like his little boyfriend. And come on, man, that hurt my
No.
heart.
Got
No.
12-year-old transgenders, man.
Come on, man.
11,
12-year-old
12-year-old
transgender.
transgenders, man.
He ain't even got his full brain. How you know a trans kids don't get their kids, you don't get your full frontal lobe thinking uh uh abilities until you're like 25 years old.
That's right.
So give it time, bro. You know what I'm saying? Give it time to really figure out what's going on, and what you want to be, and what's going on in life.
Yeah, because I don't know what the hell Dwayne Wade was thinking.
Oh man, that was crazy, man. I don't know. They say he may be into some stuff or
Yeah,
what
but
have you.
he should have
Because
left
that's
that
the
boy.
only way I can see you
Yeah, he should have
you
left
getting
that boy with
down
his
with
mama.
that.
I think he got it from Gabrielle because
I think he got it from her too.
every movie she play in, she's sexy. She being the hoe in the movie.
I think he got it from her too because she's so much. This is when you letting a woman lead.
Yeah,
You dig what I'm saying? And I think because
These
she was
folks are
older than him, you know,
wicked, man. Folks
and
wicked
she
out
was
here, bro.
leading. It's never a good thing, that's for that dynamic,
and that ain't her
because
child, so she definitely ain't
and they
gonna
ain't
love
her
him like,
child.
and she definitely ain't gonna love him like it's us. He should have left that
Exactly.
boy with his mama.
That's right. That's right.
That's evil. That's evil. That shit is
Yeah.
evil.
Well, she
Ain't no
let it.
damn way.
She embraced it, and it was like women, they embrace all the gay guys. I
Yeah,
remember coming up, they accepted the gay guys. I think because they saw where the man that dominated them was now wanting to be like them and
Yeah.
act like them, and that gave them power. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
yeah,
So they
Yeah.
embrace that, until now when the man starts saying, he started revealing his real intentions. He want to take your man, and he said he got a period and all this other crazy stuff. Now the women are upset. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Now they want to complain. Oh, you want to do
How you
y'all
believe?
embrace them.
the
Y'all
Salty
open the door
Santana.
for them and say, come on in. You understand what I'm saying? So, we all just gotta, be more cognitive of what is going on and what we're doing. And we just can't just do whatever we want.
Right.
That's a saying from
Yeah.
I remember who was it? This guy, he was like a Satan worshiper. It was like, do what thou wilt, whatever you want, but you gotta have discipline.
Yep.
You gotta have some structure.
Yep.
That's how you have a successful life.
That's
You
right.
have to
And
have some,
community.
yeah, and community. So as a person, everybody needs to always understand in their mind, I need to have some kind of discipline in my life, some kind of structure.
Right.
You can start with baby steps
Right.
because all that's going to do is grow. Whatever you do is going to grow. And if you practice none, then that's going to grow too.
Yep.
Straight
Yep.
down,
Yep.
So, but yeah, I just, like I said, I would love for, us and, the South to get more respect on our name for different things,
Yes.
that the South has contributed, because even with the bass music and the bass in music, that's why South hip hop took over. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Yep.
in the North, in when they was doing the beats back in the day with the Jeep beats and stuff like that, it was cool, but you couldn't feel it. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. So when we came along with the bass, it was a new thing. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Now we
Yeah,
can feel this.
Yep.
And us as people of color, that's what we come from. Feeling
Yeah.
them drums. You
Yep.
understand what I'm
yeah,
saying? Boom,
Yep.
boom, 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 boom. That vibration,
yeah.
because we're all energies, and that triggered something in us. That's why bass went so worldwide and crazy like it did.
Yeah, I'm in
You
my
know?
50s. I'm in my 50s, and I got 412s back there in the back there.
Mm,
That's right.
yeah, boy, you touch my heart. You touch my heart.
A.D.E, you should
Woo.
do more of these, man, and bring
Yeah, most
bring on some of
definitely.
them old artists, man. Bring
Yeah.
out Gigolo, Tony, and all them, man. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Definitely. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll call Tony, and we'll kick it.
I
You
got
know
a
what I'm
little
saying?
I call it a docu-series. I got a little docu-series on my YouTube page, and I interviewed old DJ Smurf, DJ Toon, Raheem the Dream, Mojo, Shy-D, on DJ Red Kruger. I got all them on my YouTube channel, man. And
Okay, well, tell them your YouTube channel.
yeah, it's the real DJ Kurt, the real DJ Kurt, and I got a series on there called Life Stories. You look up life stories, you'll see all the people on there. And you know, when I did that, man, I found out a lot of shit. Raheem ain't from Atlanta.
Oh, he
Smurf
not?
ain't from Atlanta.
He not?
Smurf from Orlando, Florida. And Raheem,
Wow,
I
I
think
never knew that, dude.
Raheem is from New Orleans or Texas. One of them. We gotta go look at it. But yeah, man. So
Wow.
go check it
Wow.
out. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow. I
Yep.
didn't know Smurf. And Smurf, me and Smurf did a record together some years ago. Project he wanted me to drop a verse on. I went up to Atlanta and dropped one on it. I forget the name of it, but
Yeah.
um
He said his biggest inspiration was Magic Mike. That was
okay.
his inspiration.
Oh,
Mike
Magic
because
Mike.
Hampton.
he was out of Orlando. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Shout out to Magic Mike.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
One of my heroes, Magic Mike.
Ah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so big, you got anything you want to give out any links or anything to the
I ain't
people?
got no links, but I'm gonna give a salute to you.
Yeah, man. Me
I
too, man.
appreciate it.
Salute. Salute,
But when
A.D.E.
hey, cause when I first holler at you, I say, how much you charge me for a drop? You say nothing. I'm in the studio now. Send me your email. You send me two of them. And you send me the remix of the bass mechanic with the dope.
Ah, that's what's
Wow.
up. That's what's up. Most definitely. It ain't cost me nothing. So
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
saying? I appreciate the love. I
Yeah.
appreciate you paying homage to me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the least I
Salute to
can do,
Mr.
you know?
Hines and his son.
Yeah, I'm always gonna scream foresight.
Yes.
Definitely.
I know the truth.
Yes.
Definitely.
I know the truth.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate it, man.
That's
I
right.
appreciate it because this is not something that I anticipated. You know, it's not
Yeah.
even something I thought about because it wasn't even on my radar.
It
You
would
know
be
what I'm
Right.
it'd be
saying?
all love if everybody he just everybody can just rip. Just like them New
Yeah.
York cats, like everybody just get and rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
The
Yeah.
whole South.
Facts. Yeah. We just have to, we
Do it.
have to we bond together on realness. You know what I'm
Because
Yeah.
saying? It's
Yeah.
JT
easy.
Money was on Drink
Yeah.
Champs and they were asking him about so Luke was so started out and JT like, nah, he had Foresight Records. Yeah, Foresight Records. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who said that,
Yeah.
JT?
Yeah, because JT was on Drink Champs and they was asking
Yeah.
about a record they
Yeah.
like so Luke was the first one like you had on the record, you had Foresight Records.
Yeah. Because he was sliding that in. You
Yeah.
dig what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He didn't want to, bust up the apricot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But he slid it in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we just gotta, I understand, but we gotta tell the truth. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
I
And the
We
talked to
can't
funny
be
Jay
part
right
scared to
after
about
I
it,
tell the
talked to
truth.
you yesterday, AD. I talked to Jay yesterday, right after I talked to you.
Uh-huh.
And just what you saying, that's the feeling I got too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's up.
He just kept it neutral. Yeah, well, that's what he said. Is hey,
yeah. Because Shadi,
he just
Shadi,
kept it neutral.
hey, because Shadi was Foresight before he was Skywalker.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
JJ and the fellas and them was Foresight before they were Skywalker.
Right.
So the thing is, like I said, guys, to the people listening to this, man, we need to be more courageous
Yeah.
about, our speech, our history, you know, um, because the more of us stand up, the better it's going to be for all of us,
Yeah.
because if we start putting out lies and fake narratives and different things like that, and then we trying to build something strong, but it's built off of falsehoods.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be good, bro.
Right.
Somebody come up and say, hey, well, didn't Foresight do this and that, and y'all saying this and that, and it just makes our whole situation look crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I went to jail for hip hop. I was banned. You was not banned. They tried to ban you. Was not banned. You was banned in Broward. You wasn't banned nowhere else.
Exactly.
Nowhere
Facts.
else.
Facts.
Nowhere else. You was banned in Broward.
Yeah,
nowhere
you banned
else.
in one city. You
Broward,
understand what I'm saying?
and that was a lower court. And then when you won that
So we
case,
sure got that album.
Yeah.
Made in the USA.
And once you won that little court case, you went to court for. They had to overturn that little ban. They went to federal court and they overturned the ban.
Yeah.
You weren't banned nowhere but nowhere in Broward.
Because in actuality, it was unfactual because we had already had records being made like Red Fox and
all
Richard
the
Pryor.
comedians was on record.
Exactly. You understand what I'm saying?
Blowfly
I stole those records.
Blowfly killed it. Rap Dirty.
Yeah.
Yes. So these records, so that's all they were doing. They was just putting music with it.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? So to say people made such a deal out of that, you know, I don't think the truth was really,
See, we
excremented from that
nowadays
situation.
people don't study the truth. They just listen. They won't fact check nothing.
Yeah.
They won't fact check nothing. And you don't fight for hip hop until it get to you. That means you ain't fight for hip hop.
You took the words out of my mouth. He wasn't fighting for hip hop. He was fighting for his money.
If you was fighting for hip hop, you would have went at him
what
when
I'm
they was messing
saying?
with. If you was fighting for hip hop, you would have went at him when they were messing with Ice-T.
Yeah, exactly.
Run DMC.
Yeah,
hey,
he wasn't fighting for hip hop. He was fighting for his pockets, like anybody would do.
You'd have jumped in that fire way before it got to you. If you was fighting for hip hop,
like anybody would do. I give him that. You know what I'm saying? I don't take nothing away from it, but at the same token, let's keep it a buck.
Yeah, that's the only problem I got with him. Just you did what you did. Your icon can't take nothing away from you, but just give people they damn props.
Yeah, give them their props. And like I said, we had lewd and lascivious records already being rotated. You know what I'm saying? We sold them. But like you said, Broward County.
These kids don't look up history. They don't go to find out shit. Hey, I'm the goddamn king of the South. How about that? I'm the motherfucking man. I put out the first base record and all that. We gonna put that out. Fuck that shit.
Okay.
Goddamn right. DJ Kirk is the first motherfucker.
I know that's right. You started Sony Records too.
I know what they doing. That's what they doing.
Yeah, that's true. I dig it. Well, again, fellas, it was great. It was a great discussion, and I look forward to having many more and getting stuff on the record so we can formulate some real coalitions where Luke and everybody, that is in the South, that wants to see the South in a better light, we can have that, but let's do it. Let's go about it a different way, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go about this in more of a way that works and complements everybody involved.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
So, all right. So Big and DJ Kurt.
Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys for coming on with me, and we're gonna keep it up.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, my brothers.
All right, man.
Peace.
Peace.
Hold it down.